My name is Martina Delbianco. I'm a group leader at the Planck Institute of Colloids and Interfaces in Potsdam. And my group is called Carbohydrate Materials. So we work on synthetic carbohydrate, and we are trying to understand how they fold, how they assemble to generate a material, and so on, with the idea, in the future, to use this information to build our own tailor-made material with defined shape and properties and so on. I was a postdoc in the group a few years ago, and I started to learn how to work with automated synthesis of carbohydrate. And then from there on, I realized that there's so much that is not known about these classes of compounds. And I did a PhD on something else that was more like imaging and so on. So I tried to sort of combine these two different aspects and really use the background in imaging to try to image carbohydrates and try to understand them. And then from there on, things evolved, and also we understood that they have a lot of potential in terms of aggregating and generating some self-assembled material. So we were curious and we went on and explored this field a bit more. It was something that I really wanted to do for many years, but it's quite complicated. So I was always like a bit worried to go in that direction. But working with automated synthesis of sugar, we have a lot of collaborators that are really asking for a lot of different compounds for many different aspects. And at some point, I thought it was really annoying to say no every time they were asking for a sulfate-like. So I had this very talented student, Theo, the first author of the paper, that was working on some other type of compound that carries some ionic group. So I told him, what about also trying to look at sulfation and look at sulfation on resin, so we can really maybe implement it in the future in the AGA cycle. And he was excited about it, so we decided, okay, let's tackle this process and let's see if we can what comes out. We were also lucky because Eric, the second author in the paper, is a postdoc in the department. He had worked in his PhD a little bit with this complicated molecule, so he was very helpful and happy to join our effort towards the synthesis of this compound. So, being a methodology paper, of course, the most exciting thing is that people are using it, and at the moment in the department, a lot of students and postdocs are using it for their own project. So for different type of molecule, from biologically relevant to more materials in my group and so on. But also what we realize is that there's a lot of potential on doing chemistry directly on solids. So we are now developing a lot of follow-up where we don't just introduce sulfate, but we put other charged functional group, for example, phosphate or other residues. The two that I mentioned were the one that I started working with, and then Planck, the third author, she was back in the days a young PhD student in the group that just started, and she was mentored by Theo, so she was very helpful once we had the procedure to really generate a lot of backbones for testing our procedure and to see that it was actually broad. Well, we wanted a broad audience and also a journal that was showing like more general chemistry, not something focused just on carbohydrate, because we thought that our results were interesting also for people that might be working on other type of solid phase synthesis and so on. So we wanted something with this broad visibility, so we thought ChemSci was a perfect option.